All right. All right. So, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to all. I hope you all are doing well. Today is 16th February 2022, and we are gathered here on this informal session of ICOM Family Forum. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Sana Durrani. I'm a visual artist and freelance art conservationist from Lahore, Pakistan, specialized in the field of painting conservation since over 5 years on different projects, including Alhambra Art Museum and August of Painting Restoration Project by Hungarian Embassy. Recently, I have graduated from ICOM, Asia and Cultural Heritage Administration of Korea's course named Rethinking Disaster Risk Management for Cultural Heritage Collections. I will be moderating today's session, so thank you so much for joining. We have a guest speaker with us today who had a very interesting journey where her keen interest and passion for arts made her switch after 12 years of service from corporate sector to arts. I would like to introduce Ms. Reena Dewan, who is the director of Kolkata Center for Creativity, president of ICOM India, board member ICOM INTERCOM, India Country Chair G100 Arts Leadership, president of West Bengal Arts Council, and an art practitioner. Ms. Reena has been spearheading many projects in KCC to promote research and development of different disciplines of arts that leads to a volumetric and qualitative impact, not only in the art field, but on society and young artists and performers. She is also a recipient of prestigious fellowships such as Australia Council's International Leadership Program, Art for Good Fellowship, Art Think South Asia, International Society for Performing Arts, and of Emerging Scholar Award from Ground Research Networks. She is the Getty Foundation grantee and has presented papers on travel grants in museum conferences on various international platforms. So, hello, Ms. Reena, and welcome. I welcome you to this informal session. How are you?
I'm very well, and thank you so much for inviting me. And I would like to first of all congratulate Javedji because he started this family, and it's phenomenal because we all had been working for years, but having a forum like this where we can interact and get to know each other beyond just our designations is a very important thing, because we meet in conferences, say hello to each other, what's happening around, and then the issue-based conversation starts, and we never get to know who we are actually. So I would like to thank him and congratulate him and on starting this kind of forum and bringing all of us like a family, and the very apt name that ICOM family he has kept. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, so after reading your bio, I'm really excited to know more about your journey so far. So to begin, please tell us something about yourself first and your hometown, your family, and then I'll ask further questions.
So I'm born and brought up in New Delhi. Right now I'm based in Kolkata for last 13 years. I'll start with my grandparents who came at the time of many of our families came at the time of partition from Lahore. My dada side, the grandparent of the father side came from Lahore, and my mother side came from Jammu at the time of partition. And of course, like anybody else, everything was left behind. They were literally empty-handed and started from really scratch and like refugees. So when you are born and brought up in families like this who have to start something from scratch while everybody else had the legacy given to them from by their ancestors and all, so the only thing that your parents have in mind is keep padhai karo, you have to study and you have to take a good job, because you start from the scratch. So I grew up in a um, one bedroom apartment to begin with. When my parents, I'm the third child of my family, so of course they were struggling to give us all the means. They were all, both of my parents are working, so were working. So my mother, even those days, was a working woman when not many women were working, and so they tried to give us the best they could give. But I studied in government school, a Hindi medium school, so I did not even know how to speak in English while growing up in my school. And so the journey was very humble, and slowly, of course, parents accumulated some money. So the only aspiration in those days they had were to have their own house, because they were living in a rented apartment. Not apartment is a big word, in a rented room. And they, of course, their only wish was to have their own, जो बोलते हैं ना सर के ऊपर छत होगी अपनी, that kind of a vision they always had. So finally they, of course, they were able to make their own home, from 1 bedroom to 2 bedroom, and then 2 bedroom to 3 bedroom, like that we grew. And so there was no arts in my life when I was growing up, because the entire focus was on science, maths, and things like this, which most of our middle class families do.
I understand.
I grew up in that, and of course, after my education, I got into the corporate job, because there you're sure that you will get some monthly income at the end of the month. So that's something that, you know, Indian middle class parents always encourage you to get into. I got a good job and I had a good career. I got to travel because of my job, and you know, through those travels, I went to Paris and got to see Louvre, and that was the turning point in my life, and I had my first interaction with arts. And slowly, my interest in art grew to that extent that I decided that I wanted to pursue arts. And by the time I was already a mother, a young mother, of course, I was already a mother. And when I had this conversation with my parents that I'm thinking of leaving my job and I'm thinking of pursuing arts, they were totally mad on me, and they said, "You're crazy. Who leaves this kind of a job that you have? People are struggling to get these kind of jobs that you have, and things like that. And you spend so much of money and so much of effort and whatnot. Then, you know, that happens." And but my interest was so high that I could not really hold. And from New Delhi, we shifted to Chennai for work purpose. From Chennai to Mumbai, and then Mumbai to Kolkata. When we came to Kolkata, which is the city of arts in India, their art was everywhere. So it was like destiny brought me here. And there I took the decision and I left my job. I took the sabbatical from job and I got enrolled into a arts college. I could have started like many people do, like you know, on their own, they start practicing. But I am somebody who always do the homework very nicely, because I have to be confident of doing something, then only I do it. So I always thought that, you know, if I start something without going to an arts college, then I will always be told that, you know, but you have not studied in arts college, so you don't know about arts college. So I thought, let me go through that process. And I spent 5 years in arts college. I did masters in appreciation of Indian art after that. So it took me 6 to 7 years of finishing my education at the middle age. Um, After that, again, I was thinking, what will I do? Because there are so many artists and I'm so new in this field. I barely know things. But as I always say, that destiny had brought me here, and it was destiny that had planned things for me. So there was a very new museum that was opening the year I was finishing my education. So I went there. I had some ideas, because, you know, I was coming from the other side of the life. That means I came into arts from non-arts background. So I could actually see there is so much of gap between the art and the non-arts, that there is so much happening in the world of art, which most of the people, the masses, are not even aware of. They don't even know what's happening in the field of arts. So I knew that there was a lot of disconnect. And, you know, I wanted to create some bridges. That was in my mind. So I had some ideas to work with schools and things like that. So I managed to get, somehow I knocked many doors, and I got appointment with the founder of the museum. And I went to him and I told him that this is something that I have in mind, and if he can give me a chance. He told me that he'll not give me money, but he will give me option to work on that project. So I said, okay, that's fine with me. So I started working on that project, and that went really well. And after a year, I saw that they were looking for a director. I never applied for it, because I thought I'm too new in arts, and a director should know a number of years of experience should be there before you know, applying for something like this. I never applied for it. But because I was doing good work, so I probably was getting noticed by the trustees of the uh, museum, and they actually asked me to join them as a director, after going through a series of interview with other candidates, because they felt that what the ideas that I have were more new, and something like that was needed for their museum. That's how I became the director of first museum. and I started my journey in 2014 with this museum. I worked on many projects because I could connect with the common people. There was a very easy connect. I was not coming up with a lot of academic weight, so people were more open to me. My PR was very good. My networking was very good, which of course I learned from the corporate experience, and also my administration was